this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my scalping session. We're looking at S&P 500 and mini futures. I'm going to be using pure price action, which means I'm relying on candlesticks alone. I have one supportive indicator at 21 bar EMA, but it's mainly supportive indicator. And right now, the price action is telling me that we are in a bearish trend down. And as a price action trader, I want to locate a good fitting channel. So I'm using this channel right here because this will tell me where are the boundaries for these channels where I want to go short. I'm not thinking about buying, I'm not thinking about selling. We're very close to breaking the trend channel line. If we're going to break it, we may have overshoot, or I can adapt to a little bit steeper channel. I'm going to need more information to work with, but as of right now, the channel holds, and I'm thinking about nice hyperbolic setup at the EMA. Alright, the overshoot is doing its thing. We are still above EMA, so I cannot sell as long as we're above EMA. I would like to see break of the trend line, something like this, and then push below EMA to take lower high or felt second entry long. So I'm just waiting. Either way, I need to see that push below EMA because there's potential overshoot, oversold area. It can generate a little bit stronger pullback. This was caused by the news. So news can a little bit distort price action. So I need to take that into consideration as well. But regardless, I still don't want to sell once we are hovering above EMA. I need decisive push below EMA. The sellers are back in the market, and then I will consider looking to go short again. Alright, so we had push below EMA, but there was no lower high. You have lower high here, but it's not the EMA. It's an inside bar, and we push too far down, so of course you cannot take it, even though it worked for a scalp. We're correcting higher now, so I'm going to be a little bit patient because I don't like the fact that we're back above the EMA. This short-term channel is a break new low. This can happen sometimes after overshoot. Correction can be a little bit stronger rather than just one clean push down below EMA without overshoot. So I'm just patiently waiting here, drawing some consolidation. I may consider selling at the top, combining the downtrend and combining the range highs. The more rules you have to combine, the more you can trust your analysis. But everything right now is telling me still we need to test the new low. So I'm predicting this downtrend to continue working lower. I just need to remain patient and use counting technique properly. I'm going to follow the corrections, count entries, and once I get everything aligned, I'm going to go short, take a setup, and get new extreme. Alright traders, I'm resuming the video as we have mini second entry short that ended up forming new low, first entry short, pullback, second entry short. I don't like the signal bar, but it has a nice tail at the top. The signal bar is very borderline. I almost didn't take it, but I decided to take a risk because context is so clear. You can see it's right at the trend line, right at the EMA. Because it is right at the trend line like this from the other side, I decided to take a risk. Stop loss goes one tick above the signal bar. I'm scalping 10 ticks at these lows and leaving one contract as a runner in case, market is going to continue working lower and I want to be part of this move. So this is a little bit more aggressive, but I'm betting on the context here. It's a second entry short below EMA. The signal bar is making me nervous, but it is right off this trend line at the EMA. So chances are really high we should test the new low for this downtrend. So we need a few more ticks. We're halfway there. Alright, we bounced off my exit order, but we didn't tick through. So we need to tick through the order. Sometimes you're early in the queue and you can get out just on the confirmation. Alright, we managed to get the scalp, so I'm going to tighten my runner to break even because the main portion, the main scalp portion was hit. So this was a little bit more aggressive because the signal bar was not ideal. But it has some bearish tail. The context looked clean enough. So we managed to get the scalp. And I still expect new extreme. So if there's going to be additional pullback, new high first entry long, second entry long failure, I may even take felt second entry long. Or I may consider something at these highs here. Okay, I was considering another mini second entry short to test the new low. But I don't like double bar entry that much. First bar was bullish bar. It's getting quite stacked. I wanted to see some clear strong bearish reversal bar. There are some lows here, although we should break and push to new low, so I'm just waiting here. The downtrend was very close to being tested. I still expect new low technically, low outside of the channel that is lower than the low inside of the channel. Overshoot counts as well. It all matters when it comes to the break of the trend line, so this was prior to break. So maybe felt second entry long could be interesting. I would like to see break a new high, but since we have such a deep retracement, market may just go all the way down to test the new low. So I may consider some decent felt second entry long. We'll see how it forms. The downtrend played out with the break, pushed to a new extreme. The felt second entry long formed above the EMA because you didn't get a trigger here, but this was far from the EMA anyway. Now I'm going to wait for more information. What is the next market cycle? We followed the rules. We predicted new extreme. using the pure price action. So you can see you don't need no indicators, just understanding candlesticks, understanding structure. You can predict where the market's gonna go. And now what I expect is some area of development, because it takes generally time for a new market cycle to be developed. So we can have correction or reversal. So let's see what's gonna happen. All right, so we have a nice bullish spike after the new extreme. I was considering some second entry long, new high, first entry long, pullback, second entry long, but it looks like it's gonna be an inside bar. So I can't really take inside bar. This was also big spike down. So no setup as of right now. So I still keep waiting, area of development. All right, I came back from my break. We had a spike break new high, but we can see EMA holding, so I'm drawing secondary spike in a channel pattern. There was decent high low, and now I'm drawing this wider channel, first entry long held. So I could consider second entry long. All right, traders, I took the second entry long, new high, first entry long, second entry long. Definitely more aggressive because we spiked below EMA quite strongly. I like how we have a lot of high lows. The channel looks pretty good, spike into channel pattern. So the risk is small, it's only 2 points. So I like trying to take the scalp here, new high, first entry long, second entry long. We don't have new extreme, but I have so many high lows that it's worth taking a risk. So stop loss one tick below the single bar, going for 8 ticks, and I'm looking for a new high. Once again, the resistance has only one bounce here, so a lot of empty room. So the resistance can be a little bit lower like this. You know, this is not a strong resistance. So let's see if we can push through or not. Definitely a little bit more aggressive. This is not super textbook trade because this spike down doesn't have new extreme. I'm basically betting only on the attempt, but it's been a really good week. So taking a little bit more risk is acceptable for me. All right, traders, we got filled. I took only 6 ticks because it was quite aggressive. So because it was more aggressive, I decided to go only for 6 ticks. All right, traders, our runner just got hit. So we took only small 6 ticks. Looks like we may have been lucky because we're getting some strong pullback, but it was more aggressive. Okay, so we got lucky, we survived, we got the 6 ticks. Now we have 2 legs down, so downtrend finally played out. Right, traders, we have potential second entry short, but it's getting quite late and it's Friday, so I don't want to take a risk taking setup this late. Also, when I draw a wider channel, there can be potential overshoot. So this is why I would need some lower high confirmation setup to kind of negate the overshoot and make things clear. But because it's quite late and it's Friday, I definitely don't want to take unnecessary risk. All right, traders, I'm going to wrap it up with my 2 trades. So this is the overall structure for today. This week has been really great trading week. But today, Friday, the last day, it was very lackluster. Not that many great trades, but it's okay. We at least had a really great trading week. I was hoping we would get more setups, but not every single day is going to offer that many setups. We started with nice downtrend working on lower. As you can see, we have consistent series of lower highs and low lows. Then we had a little bit of an overshoot, but this is created by the news, and news can sometimes distort the price action just a little bit. I decided to widen the channel eventually. Either way, I need to respect the correction. We're above EMA, finally break below, which is telling me, okay, sellers are back in the market and a new push phase will resume. The more aggressive setup I took ended up being one of the best trades for today. Second entry short at the EMA because we expect price action to continue working lower. We were considering another second entry short, but the single bar was bullish and double bar entry just didn't feel that great. It's quite congested, so not the greatest setup. I mean, you can consider double bar entry, but this is not the best setup because it was quite congested, you know, and double bar entry requires really good context. Then we expect new extreme, but there was no felt second entry low, no break below, back above EMA. So you want to see some lower high below, none of that form, breaking new extreme, downtrend played out, perfect price action, and now you want to see new market cycle. You have a very strong bullish push above EMA, which is indicating bullish reversal. So we have new market cycle that is about to be formed. Then you want to go long, but you're whipsawing up and down, so you don't really get a good chance to go long. There was decent high low here, you're going sideways, the support is holding, you finally push above EMA. You expect the second leg up, you expect new high for this first bullish leg, and you have kind of like the 2 legs down. So this is a decent high low confirmation setup of the second entry long here that didn't trigger. Price action created new extreme. Then initially I wasn't really excited to draw the wider channel. I returned from my break around this area because it looks like 2 legs up, but once we had this bullish spike up, which means the wider channel was quite convincing, I decided to draw it. I wasn't also expecting the resistance to be this strong because there's so much empty room. Now this setup was aggressive when I was taking this live, but looking back, we got really lucky, at least with the scalp, because there was massive spike down below EMA there. Probably is going to be second leg down. And also you have 2 legs up, it is quite rangy, so I really needed more confirmation. And once the resistance held, I'm pretty much patient. Market reverse all the way down. And then we had overshoot of the wider channel, congestion, nothing much. This second entry short was quite tempting if you're playing just this channel. But the reason why the wider channel here is important because this is where the downtrend really started. Swing here, confirmation here. So the wider channel is indicating overshoot, which can generate stronger pullback. This is exactly what happened. Overshoot leads to a break, and eventually new extreme was tested. So yes, this was very boring price action trading day, but we can't really complain because this week offered a lot of good opportunities. So I hope you found a few trades. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna talk to you next time. Good luck your trading.